Well, let's see if this actually works because I really don't know. But I will say that we just started going live, and I actually really like the way that the new setup looks. So before I was streaming with Google Hangouts, it's just like the easiest way to stream, and it was pretty easy. But they discontinued it. YouTube's made a lot of changes lately, which is good. They're really helping the creator. They're coming up with better systems, more or less. And so now they're doing it's just webcam on YouTube, which is really nice because it gives me all the stats up top. It tells me who's all over here, and the background on the screen is black. So everyone who has a member's logo, I can see it really easy. So it's really cool, actually. So as long as you guys can hear me, which I mean, it sounds like everyone can. If you can't hear me, let me know. Let me get my mouse on the right side so it's easier to communicate. But Dan Slee was the first one here. Good morning, Dan. Thank you so much for being here. Unfiltered Aquarius, good morning. Stephen Conrox, I think that's how you say Conrax. I'm not sure. Good morning. Christopher Burrell, good morning. Aquatics Geek. Good morning to you. Said I changed my YouTube channel name, but this is Chris Bailey. What's going on, Chris? Okay, got it. 44 Mad Guy. Hello, good morning. Rob's Fish Room. Good night. Wow, Rob must be in a different part of the world. Good night to you, sir. Jess is here. Good morning, Jess. And good morning to everyone else tuning in. Let me know, honestly, if you guys can, if everything sounds good. I mean, it looks good on my end. I'm watching over here, and so it should be good. I just don't know about the volume. Great start to the morning. Rob is great toast to start the day. The water box in the house, giving me compliments already. Kenry T, good morning. And good morning to everyone else. I hope you guys are having a great day. This is actually really nice. I actually really enjoy this setup now. I wish I could show you my screens. Oh, what is this? Sorry. I think I just did something bad. There's a little I'll wait for everyone to get back in. But just so you guys know, there's a little money icon up at the top, and I thought it was going to be where I could like see all the super chats. And I thought that was going to be pretty cool because then, you know, usually when chats go and you don't see them all, or maybe you miss one. But it's actually every time you hit it, you insert an ad. So if you guys just got blasted with an ad, I apologize. That was accidental. But it is pretty cool that you can put that there. Oh, so good morning, good morning, good morning. Coffee with Flip, episode 17. Can you believe this is episode 17? I'm not going to try to do math on camera. Every time I do, it just freezes me up. I mean, let me try it. So that's just under 5 months. It's right over 4 months. So we're going on 5 months of doing this every single week. There's a couple weeks that I missed. In the replay. You're right. Probably in the replay. It will show the ad. But yeah, so there's a couple weeks that I think there was only 1 week that I was out of town and I made a video. But other than that, we've been doing this pretty solid. Wildflower, Emma's in the house. On my way home, I'll be in the car all day. Can't wait. That's awesome. So we're just gonna be hanging out. I've been trying to do a lot more videos lately. I hope you guys have seen that in the past. Let me see. Let's try to pull it up. Let's do it this way. I've been trying to do a video every Tuesday, Thursday, and I wanted to start doing it every Saturday too, and just get back into a good rhythm of making videos, do more blog style, keep you guys up to date on what's going on here at Flip Aquatics. But it gets tiresome. I did the wrong thing again. This is terrible. I'm really bad at this whole YouTube thing. But anyway. The reason I brought that up, in our last video, I did a video yesterday, which was how we made our 125-gallon mega rack. So if you guys are just tuning in for the first time, I'm Rob with Flip Aquatics. We run a complete nano fish store. We do pretty much all things nano. We want to get into shrimp, plants, fish, basically anything that fits into a small tank. We want to carry small tanks. We want to carry filters. We want to do a bunch of stuff. And so one problem that we've been running into is we are having a hard time keeping things in stock for whatever reason. We are always running out of shrimp. We have to get in huge import orders, so it always makes it Pretty tough. You can't just order in a little bit of stuff. You have to order in a monster order. And so by the time we sell enough to get another order, it's already sold out again. And it's just a vicious cycle. So to catch you up a little bit, we just got a new building. It's in addition to our current building, which is about 4,000 square feet, I think. It's just a warehouse. We have 3 fish rooms here. But we got a new building. Super exciting. It has a full basement. It's about 3,000 square feet on each floor. And so we're doing a monster fish room in the basement, all 125 gallons. Well, I did a video on that, and we're building it out of 2x4s and 2x6s. And there was a fair amount of concern with the stability of the rack. So one thing that I said in the video, when I make videos, you guys have to know that I'm just literally just blogging. Like, I'm just thinking at the top of my head. It's not always perfect. And one thing, I thought it would be a good idea to bolt the stand to a piece of wood that's on top of a brick, and that piece of wood will disperse the weight, and then bolt the wood to the brick. But everyone said, like, oh, you're going to compromise the strength of the brick, which is 100% true, and I didn't even think about it when I made the video. So we are not doing that. And then a lot of people had concerns about the stability of the rack. And so just to put everyone's mind at ease, the bricks that we're using are rated for 2,000 PSI, which means they can support up to 2,000 pounds evenly distributed on them all. The way that we have it set up, they shouldn't ever get more than 2,000 pounds. So let me do some quick math. I'm actually going to use a calculator so that I don't mess it up. We have a 125 gallon on top of another 125 gallon, which comes out to 250 gallons. Water is about 8 pounds per gallon. So that's 2,000 pounds on top of each other divided by 4 feet. Oh, I guess because 2 are sharing. So we'll do this. We'll just do the full thing. This is how we know for sure. We got 125 gallons. There's 12 of them per rack. So that comes out to 1,500 gallons times 8, which is how much average gallon of water weighs. So now we're at 12,000 pounds for that one rack, distributed amongst 14 bricks evenly. Means each brick is supporting roughly 857 pounds, which if you double that, say worst case scenario, we double that, we're at 1,700 pounds. We're still good. So the brick's going to be fine as long as we don't drill holes in it. Bad idea. Sorry for putting that on camera. But we do want to stabilize that. A lot of people gave good suggestions about putting it up, attaching it to the roof or the ceiling, which I think is a good idea. I always get nervous with that, only because, like, if, say, for some reason the rack got, like, there was a big earthquake and the rack got tipped over, I'm afraid that it would pull down on those trusses and, like, mess up the trusses and then possibly collapse the building. So I always get nervous with that, which that might just be me being paranoid. I do have some friends that are engineers, and I might have to have them come out. So, yeah. But we are building a fish room with 100. It's going to look like 104 125 gallons. Let me turn my phone off. I apologize for that. Yeah, this morning was a little crazy just because I've never streamed this way before. But I do really, really like it. I think this is gonna work out good. And so yeah, so we got a lot of good stuff going on. I got another video coming out tomorrow. We're going to be talking about, I think we're going to be doing the United States shrimp contest, the one that we just had in Aquashella in Texas. I believe that will be our topic of communication. And yeah, so I guess I didn't announce today. I'm drinking normal coffee. I ran out of decaf coffee. I haven't had time to go get something else. So I've been trying to limit my cup to, like, that much actual caffeinated coffee. And if you guys didn't know this, I was drinking a lot of caffeine, and it really messed with me as far as anxiety and stuff like that. So I've been trying to cut off caffeine completely. So I did start drinking this, so bad on me. But this is Dunkin Donuts. We made it here. It's got a little bit of French vanilla coffee creamer in it, and it's chilled overnight. Yeah, we're getting classy around here. And so basically we were just recycling coffee we didn't want to dump out because, you know, iced coffee is just as good as hot coffee. And so that's what we got going on. But let me see. We can talk more about the new building and the new racks. You guys can just let me know if you have any questions. I see a few. But let me scroll through and see what you guys got going on. Florante said, everything looks good and sounds good. That's good to hear. Jess said the same thing. People are asking, what are you using for streaming? So YouTube came out with this new thing. It's called just webcam, and it's just basically like YouTube's platform for live streaming, which I think it's actually really nice. I mean, you can't customize anything. Like I can't like put another screen up here and like subscribe up here, anything like that. Basically, it's just the as basic as it gets, but it puts a live stream right next to it. It has all the information around here. Easy way to end the stream. I can mute, I can share, I can do a lot of different stuff. So this is actually really nice because everything I need is right here. It's going to flash up when there's if there is a super chat. I imagine because it's YouTube software that it will pop up somewhere and let me know. So yeah, so this is actually really nice. I really do like it. Greg goes to make coffee. So Greg Jones getting his coffee. Anthony Fishroom or Anthony's Fishy Friends. Good morning. Garlic Reaper. Do you have yellow shrimp? We do not. We haven't carried yellow shrimp since our first import order. They did horrible in shipping, and I hate seeing animals die. And so I didn't want to order something that is just going to consistently be bad. And so we haven't got them in. We might try them again now that we got a new supplier. So we'll see about that. I think the tanks will hold for sure. So yes, I do believe that the racks will hold. The bricks will hold. Everything will be good. But I did see another good question farther down that we'll get to that. Shrimps with sweaters. Hunter in the house. Good morning, Hunter. Oscar Z, good morning. 44 Mag said, what streaming service are you using now? We're using the new service through YouTube. Alpaca Made says, fish basement build coming along really well. Thank you so much. We are getting there. It's going to be like, if you guys watched any of my last videos, I think I say I'm so excited probably every, I don't know, 2 minutes. Every time I make a clip of the video, I'm always just like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Because who doesn't want a fish room with 125 gallons? Like, doesn't that just sound good? Like, think of all the potential. As far as shrimp, in a 125-gallon tank, you can easily stock that with 1,000 shrimp. So just in that fish room alone, there's 10,000 shrimp. Wait. Let me do some math here. I think it's 10,000. No, it's more than 10,000 times 100. 100,000 shrimp. I apologize. I don't know why. I'm so disappointed. I used to be so good at math when I was in school. Like I was going through some boxes in my basement. We're cleaning. We're selling our house, and I was going through some boxes, and there's like applied calculus and all these things I had to do in college for my degree, and it was just like it was like a foreign language to me. I was like, what does that even mean? Like, it made me think, like, why do they even teach kids that in school? You're never going to use that unless you go to, like, into a very specific field. I went for accounting. I've never used any crazy formulas. I can understand them a little bit, but, I mean, the real crazy stuff, like, can't understand that at all. So I never understood that, but totally off topic. I used to be really good at math. Now when I'm on the spot, I'm not as good at math. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But anyway, I don't even know. We were calculating how many shrimp we can keep. 100,000 shrimp in the new room. And we'll probably do some of the tanks with like 400 like really nice shrimp. And then we'll use them for breeding. So maybe 400 shrimp can produce, a couple thousand shrimp. And then as the babies grow up, we'll sell them. Maybe we'll take them out, bring them over here, keep them in a holding tank, and then sell them. And so we're definitely going to be offering some USA bred shrimp, which it'll be really nice. Sorry, I gotta drink more coffee. I love coffee. So nice. Hey, Rob. Ray Conway said, hey, Rob, what is your favorite fish and shrimp combo? If I was gonna pick on the spot, oh goodness. If I had to pick on the spot, I'd probably do an easier setup just because I know my time restraints. I would do Fantasy Blues. Just because you can never beat a nice blue shrimp. You just can't. That's why I got blue bolts back here. Like you can't beat a nice blue shrimp. I do Fantasy Blues, and then I would probably do Chili Rasboras, or a mix of chilies, the 3-spotted, the Mira, and maybe some exclamation point Rasboras. And I do a little bit of everything. I love small fish. I think they're so cool. And when they school together, it's so much fun. Let's see. Razy, JC Flip. I've been enjoying Coffee with Flip since day one. I absolutely love your African cichlid setup. Unfortunately, I don't keep African cichlids, but I appreciate the effort. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't keep African cichlids. Oh, you know what? I do have. No, those aren't African cichlids. I do have the 125 out there that has severums in it, which I don't think severums are African cichlids. But I don't know much about cichlids. I'm learning though. Again, yawning. It's too early for this. What is it? 10:47 my time. Oh, it's good though. We got a busy day planned. We're picking up we're picking up a decent size import order. Well, actually not even an import order. It's a fish wholesale order from a distributor in Florida. We're picking up that today. We're also picking up our order of foam, which will be coming in. So we'll be fully stocked on foam again. We got a lot coming in. And so that's good. Hey, Ray is from Panama City in Florida. That's awesome. Keith from London, shout out to you. Scott said, plus the weight of the tanks, wood, nails, etc. Yeah, so there's definitely going to be some weight on those concrete blocks. Yeah, it will be a lot of weight in that basement. It's going to be a lot of weight on that floor. Thank goodness it's a basement, not an elevated concrete pad. Because I would think this building could hold it, but it would be a doozy. Let's see. Lewis said, if you flood, blocks are going to wick water and wet your wood. I would wet lock the blocks. It's actually a pretty good idea. That's actually a really good idea to wet lock the blocks. Maybe just put some yeah, we could paint them. The guys are gonna hate that. They're gonna absolutely hate that. But it's possible. We don't have water in the tanks. We don't have the tanks on the stand yet, so we could definitely do that. We're actually working on building the second stand today, at some point today. That's actually a really good idea, Lewis. Thank you so much for the feedback. Yeah, wet lock the bricks. Good. You didn't take the weight off the tanks to your equipment. You're right, I didn't. There's definitely going to be some weight on the bricks. That's for sure. And so yeah, it's gonna be really cool. Candy in here posting a ton of stuff. Thank you so much, Candy. And yeah, it's gonna be good. So just real quick about Coffee with Flip, we do this every single week. I know I'm missing a lot of the comments, which makes me think of it. If you guys want a more personalized live stream, we do this every single week, but the opposite week. So episode 2, 4, 6, 8, all the even episodes will be for members only. And I post that. We do it on Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. And so if you guys want a more personalized experience, really what it comes down to when we're live streaming, it's just me and all the members. It's really like there isn't enough questions and I end up just rambling. You guys get a more personalized experience with me and what's going on in my life. Also some more detailed stuff on what's going on in the business. And so if you guys want more of that personalized experience, consider becoming a member. I know you guys will not be disappointed. There's always stuff going on over there. And it really creates like a really tight-knit family group. There's pretty much the same people that show up every single week, and we really get to know each other and bond. So it's a really cool experience. So if anyone does want to become a member, I really appreciate it. It's a cool way to support me, and it's also a fun way for me to get to know you and have like that group of people that I can lean on and ask questions to, and all that good stuff. So definitely consider being a member. And all the members in here, it's actually really cool. They have their name in green. And then their member icon in white, so I can see them like boom, right, like that. So it's cool stuff. And thank you to all the members that are here, and thank you to again Candy for posting all of the links to our website and the member sign up and everything like that. I really do appreciate all of you. But let's get back to some questions, and then we could talk about anything you guys want to talk about. I do think that this new rack is going to be awesome. The new building is going to be something truly special. Again, 100,000 shrimp potentially over there. I mean, it's going to be cool. I really think it's going to solve our running out of inventory issue, running out of shrimp issue, and it really, really could open up the door for us to do wholesale. Which I thought this room over here, the pond room, I thought that was going to open us up to do wholesale. And then you guys just showed up in a big way, and we still really haven't been able to pursue wholesale yet. We just don't have the inventory for it. And so Beastly Car said, howdy from Wisconsin, everyone. Good morning to you over in Wisconsin. Miss Poppiness said, hi, are you still importing shrimp? We are still importing shrimp. We're hoping with this new room, if demand doesn't take off, we're going to do a lot of breeding over there, and then we could potentially be self-sufficient. I don't think so, though. We still go through an unbelievable amount of cherry shrimp, Amano shrimp, crystals, things like that. So for us to be self-sufficient, it's going to it'll probably take a couple, again, yawning, always yawning. It will probably take, if we were going to keep up with demand the way it is right now, we would probably have to have, I don't know, 1,000 125s, something like that. So if we end up buying that whole other building, we could potentially do the whole basement in 125s, which could get us roughly 1,000, which would be like, I mean, at that point, like we're doing something special. Like we're doing something really cool that no one's done before in the United States for shrimp. And so that would be really awesome. So hopefully one day we can pursue that. It just takes time and above all else, it takes money. And so money is not an unlimited resource. So we're chipping away at it. We're doing everything we can. We're grinding as much as we can, and we're getting there. Well Kept Aquatics says, it looks amazing, man, for real. Thank you so much for that. Goose, not Maverick. Goose, not Maverick. Good morning, all shrimp keepers. Good morning to you. Greg Jones said, did you find any tempered glass? We honestly haven't looked yet. It's one of those things that, like, it's just inevitable. It's going to be what it is. We can always do our DIY overflows, which have worked really good for us in the past. I'd much rather drill the tanks. We also ran into, like, how do you drill a 125 gallon? Like, do you put it in a huge tub of water? Do you just let the water run on the floor? Like what's the best way to do that? So we've been coming up with solutions for that. And it's just one of those things that, like, we're very much like, we just want to, like, well, I don't want to say we. I'm very much like, I have a vision. I know what it's going to be like. And everything in the middle, it's just like, get it done. Like, we're just going to get it done. Like, we're going to fit 100 125s in our basement no matter what. We're going to make it happen. Whatever we have to do. Because that's the vision that I had. I knew it would work. Doesn't matter how it measured out. Doesn't matter how it plays out. We're going to fit 100 in there. And then as far as drilling the tanks, it doesn't matter how we overflow the tanks. We're going to overflow them. It doesn't matter if the bricks don't support the weight. We're going to change them. We're going to find a solution. It's going to work. We go. And I'm very much like a do it and make it happen kind of person. And I do try to plan out the best of my ability, but I am notorious for just making it happen. And so that's what I did with this building, and it really worked out good. We learned a lot. We made some mistakes, but that's the fun of the hobby for me. I enjoy just doing it. And the cool thing about this is we're setting up this rack. We're getting 24 of them set up, and then it'll probably be like 2-3 months before we get our next shipment in. And so that gives us some time to really like see, like, is this going to work? Is this how we like it? Is it gonna do well? And so it will give us some time to really plan it out. And the reason we scheduled it that way, one, unloading 24 125s out of the back of a semi truck with no tow motor, no lift gate, just with ladders and pure manpower. Not fun. It was exhausting. My back hurt for like 2-3 days afterwards. So if we got in an order of 100, I would be dead. I would not be able to move the next day. And then on top of that, sure, we have room to set them all, but we would have to double stack them. It would take up a ton of room. It'd be hard to get to them. If we had a little flood in there, we wouldn't be able to clean it up. And so it really came to convenience. And also, like, you know, you buy 100 125 gallons, like all of a sudden you're dishing out, like, I mean, you're dishing out some money. You're dishing out 30-40 grand to get those tanks in. And I don't know about you guys, 30-40 grand is a lot of money. Even when you have a successful business, like just boom, there's 30-40 grand. Like, that doesn't happen. And like I said, I'm very much like, here's an opportunity. Let's jump on it. And so it isn't like we've been planning to do this expansion for the last 3 years. It literally was like, oh, there's an opportunity. Oh, financially it makes sense. Oh, we could do this, and boom, it happened. So it was literally like 6 months. So we didn't really have time to really budget accordingly for this year. When I did my budget for this year, I would have to say an expansion wasn't even a part of it. So there's a ton of hidden costs with an expansion, and so there's that going on. Tons of stuff. And yeah, let me answer some more of your questions, and then I'll give you guys a little Wednesday hump day motivation. And really, I'll give it to myself, and you guys can indulge yourself as well. Just because, we all need motivation. I know it's been a trying. Is that even a word? It's been a trying week for me, but it all works out. It's all good. And so let's see. Richard said, I'm doing the rack myself in a couple of months. Any information would be great. Yeah, so definitely check out our most recent video. We'll keep you updated on how the rack develops and if we make any changes. And then feel free to make some changes and learn from our mistakes as they happen. Draco said, at Flip Aquatics, actually he said at Lub Diesel, which is my old name. Can you tell us a little about what will be in the 125 rack system? Are you planning on having each rack dedicated to a particular strain or similar? Draco, you asked some good questions. So as far as the 125s, I have to be 1,000% honest with you guys. I really don't know what I want to do over there. Like, I know it's going to be shrimp. I don't know if temporarily it's going to be holding, like we're going to order a bunch of neos and put neos over there. I don't know if we're going to go right to breeding. I know I've been talking with Brightwell, and I think they're gonna hook us up with some soil for down there. We might do a whole rack of Taiwan bee grow out. So there's some things that we sell less of. So for example, extreme black King Kongs, extreme red King Kongs, like those two are more expensive shrimps. They don't move as quick. So it would be very easy for us to get a colony of those going and breed enough to supply our demand, and then potentially have extra to supply wholesale. And then we could even lower the cost to increase the demand based on our supply. And so I was thinking about doing that. And then my other thought was, hey, like we sell a ton of crystal shrimp. So would it make sense to set up 12 125s to breed crystals? And then all of a sudden we could have a huge supply of crystal shrimp. And so there's two ways you can go. You can go to meet supply, or not meet supply, meet demand, or you can go to create supply for less, or for shrimp that really doesn't matter as much. And so I don't know. I've been going back and forth, and I haven't decided whether I want to keep it all Caridina over there and just breed like an absolute ungodly amount of Caridina shrimp, or if we wanted to have a couple racks set up just for neos, potentially get some of them breeding. I really don't have a passion for breeding neos. I have to be honest. I mean, the health of them would be better, but there's a lot that goes into neos. Caridina are just so easy. You put them in a tank, you make sure they're healthy, you create stability like the tank behind me, you give them an ample food supply, tons of places to hide, forage, proper lighting, algae in the tank, and boom, you got a successful Caridina tank. Now, neos, there's some parasites, there's some potential diseases. They're more prone to bacterial infections. There's a lot more that goes into it. And also we sell a lot more Neocaridina. So the fact that we could ever sustain our demand on it is like so far fetched. But I mean, I don't know. It's something. Maybe because Neos are less healthy when you import them, maybe it makes sense to breed those ones, whereas Caridina are pretty healthy. So maybe it makes sense to import those ones. These are all things that I really have to wrap my mind behind. And I also want to make something that I'm passionate about. And so it's a little bit of selfish desire mixed with what makes sense financially, what makes sense business-wise. And to be honest, I really don't know what we're going to do. I mean, I don't know. And I think it's going to be one of those things that, like, when I'm placing an import order, I'm just going to be like, you know what? We're getting 1,000 of these right now. We're going to make it happen. It's going to be awesome. And it's just going to be what it is. But yeah, like I'm really just like in the mindset of like get it done. And so like it's like everything just kind of comes together. There's a lot of good feedback from you all. There's a lot of good feedback from my team. There's a lot of like feedback from some of the investors and things like that. And so a lot of feedback all comes together. And that at the end of the day, I can just be like, okay, I think this does make the best sense. Let's go this direction. I want to say, so for all you out there that are planning on starting a business, I would say one of the qualities that every business professional or every successful business person needs, which I feel like I'm pretty good at this, is finding the diamond in the rough. And what that means is when you own a business or when you're in front of an audience like Flip Aquatics has, like you all here and just hanging out, you get a ton of feedback. You get a ton of people that not only question what you're doing, but tons of people that give you input, tons of people that say you should go one direction, tons of people say you should go the other. And so you really have to be very good at determining what is good feedback and what is bad feedback. And I think I've become very good over the years at weaning through suggestions. I don't want to throw my buddy under the bus, but I will kind of talk about him for a second. Mark, I call Marcus Aurelius all the time. He's our more or less our handyman around here. He's very, very good at what he does. But he comes up with some of the most off-the-wall ideas. And for every 10 ideas he has, there's one like magical idea that is just like, Mark, like this is why we keep you around. Like this was the best idea ever. And so he really does come up with some exceptional ideas. And so Mark's one of those guys that like, if you didn't have that, you'd be listening to a lot more of his ideas, which would probably not be a good thing. And so Mark's a good guy, and I don't mean to bad talk him in any way, shape, or form, but he does have some off the wall ideas. And so if you want to be successful at business, I would say weaning through all the feedback to find the good stuff is what matters. And one thing you can't let happen is all the bad feedback. You can't let that get to you. And it's really tough, especially when you're in the eyes of the public. So still to this day, like if you guys don't know my journey, if you haven't been at Flip Aquatics for a long time, maybe you just subscribed, maybe you were here when we were Love Diesel, the YouTube channel was called Love Diesel. I don't know. But back in the day when I started shrimp, there was no information on shrimp. No one shared anything. No one shared genetics. No one shared how they breed them. No one shared their water parameters. It was like if you figured out how to keep shrimp, it was like the holy grail. You don't share that with anyone. Like that's the way it was back then. And so there was some information. All of it was conflicting. You really didn't know. And so what I did is I learned. I just went after it. Like I got stuff. I figured out what worked, what didn't work. I tried things. I tried people's feedback, and I just weaned through it all. And I figured out what worked for me. I learned through YouTube. I documented everything, and you could watch my whole journey. Like back in the day, I used to say like, "Oh, like you got to watch out because the shrimp will eat each other," and it's true. But at that time, like I knew that I saw it happen a few times, and I'm like, "Yeah, they'll eat each other." Blah blah blah. And everyone's like, shrimp don't eat other shrimp. And I'm like, oh, delete that video. Like, oh my gosh, everyone hates me. And now I feel like I know enough. But what I'm getting at is a lot of the mistakes I made in the past, people still use against me today. They're like, oh, this Flip Aquatics guy is a joke because he said this, and this. And it's like, yeah, but I learned. Like I documented my journey. And sure, there's some videos still that you can go back and find that I gave information that I wouldn't give anymore, but that's a part of learning. And now I give information that's more sound. I've learned a lot. And basically, Flip Aquatics is a documentation of my life for the past 3 years for the business. Or my past, well, man, it's been longer than that. It's been, 5 years at this point or more. It's been more than 5 years. We've been on YouTube for like 7 or 8 years. This is crazy. I didn't even realize that. So yeah, like you guys can see a huge chunk of my life through YouTube. And so, I mean, it's cool, but as a professional or as someone that is trying to do something, you really have to let like the negativity just fade away. I just saw Shrimping with Jen in the chat. Shrimping with Jen, Jadwin Aquatics, that's his wife, Jennifer. And so Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. It's good to see you in a stream. And it's always good. Hopefully we get some more videos out of you soon. But yeah, so it's just it's crazy. It's not easy doing what I do. I know that perception is reality. That's a quote that I live by. What people think is their reality. So if people perceive you to be one way, in their mind, that's 100% true. and there's no other way. That is the truth. And so perception is reality. So if people perceive one thing, that's their reality. And what I'm getting at is if people think that you're a bad guy, then you are the bad guy, and they're going to tell everyone that. And so perception is everything. And so when people look at Flip Aquatics and they see us doing a huge expansion and doing a fish room that's going to cost a ton of money, people look at that and they're like, oh my God, like Rob's rolling in the cash. And that's what they think. And because that's their perception, and in their mind, that's their reality. But another thing is people's like, you know, even my employees or my wife, for instance, like it's easy to think that Rob or Robert, me, I sit on my computer all day and I have the very easy job that's cushy and all this stuff. But and again, that's their perception. So they're not wrong in thinking that. You know, there's times where you know, I'll go on vacation and I'll be gone for a week, and I might go on, you know, 10 vacations a year. And it's not because like, oh, like I love going on vacation. It's like, hey, like my job is so stressful that sometimes I need to separate myself from my job and get a new outlook on what I'm working on and think about it while I'm there. And so again, perception is reality. So what people perceive, that's their reality. And so you have to know that, because again, it comes back to the negativity. So many people will think negatively of you based on their perception, and it just is what it is. And it's not always true. So I guess if I give any advice, it's that always look at it from the other way. And so what I do in life is I see people, and for example, we'll see somebody that is a pathological liar in the shrimp hobby. And everyone hates them. And they're doing really bad things. They're cheating people. They're doing things that are just unethical. But at the end of the day, I look at that person and I say, man, like, how sad is that? Like the life that they lived, the things that happened to them in their life, like that's why they are the way they are. Like their environment created them. And so I feel bad for the life that they had to live to get to where they are. And I have sympathy for those people, and I want to help those people, because that's my perception. Like I don't just see the surface. I try to see behind. Same thing when people get upset with us at Flip Aquatics. I always try to look at it from their point of view. Like, hey, I'm a very reasonable guy. Let me know what I can do to help. And you can't help everyone, and some people are just really stuck in their ways. But that's how I try to look at it. And so if you guys can start looking at life that way, not just like the surface, if you actually like start to think about it, like think of like we'll backtrack a little bit. The new fish room, the 125s, and how much money that's going to cost, and all the work that's going into that. Yeah, you could think, oh, Rob's rolling in it, but you could also think like, how hard did Rob have to work to be able to do that, and how hard is he still working to be able to afford that and make that happen, and the difference that he's going to make? Because that's the way I look at it. I look at it as like, I'm willing to risk my livelihood on something bigger than myself, on something that could take not only this hobby to the next level, but a business that could potentially provide for my family, a business that could employ people that I love and I really enjoy, and I want to see them succeed. Missionaries that I could send to, I could help pay to send them to Africa to share the gospel. Guatemala, the place that we just traveled to, like we could send money there to see lives change in that community. And something like a fish room of 125s that is so cool and so fun to watch could potentially change the lives of thousands of people. And it sounds so funny to say that, but it's so true. And so that's the way I look at it. I look at it as like, man, what an opportunity that I'm willing to risk everything to do it. And I'm not saying that like, hey, every dollar that I've ever spent is in that building. And if that building is a success, like Flip Aquatics is no more, because that's not the case. But I'm willing to lay it all on the line today to see the potential of lives change tomorrow. And I promise you that I will always be that way. I'm never comfortable. I'm never so I'm always content, but I'm never comfortable. I never want to be comfortable in the place that I'm in. I always want to be moving, because comfort is bad, in my opinion. If you're comfortable, it means you're not trying, you're not doing, you're not testing yourself, you're not risking, you're not like going after it. And I feel like discomfort is where you really start to see yourself in the true light. Like, how much easier would it be if I just sold the business and say somebody paid $1 million for it, and I just sold it, and then I retired and I just sat at home and played video games all day? That would be awesome. That would be amazing. But what difference will that make in lives of others? And the truth is, it wouldn't. Maybe the next person I took over, maybe they would have a passion for changing lives, but you never know. And so my passion so much in life is to change the lives of others. And granted, like, it'd be really nice if one day I lived in a nice house, and my thing is, like, I love nice showers. Like, if I had a shower with jets all over and it was just awesome and it was like luxurious, like, yeah, that would be great. But I am so content in the life that I have right now that I if I never had that stuff, it would be fine. And I'll actually share this. I've never shared this before, and I just feel like I'm on a rant. I think it would be so amazing, and my life would just feel like I would feel so complete if I could build this monster house that had like 20 bedrooms, and I could afford to have people like a guy there that took care of the landscape, like a gardener, for lack of better words, and someone that cooked, like a chef, and someone that took care of the house. So you would have 3 full-time employees that just took care of it, and they could live there with their families. And then what it wouldn't be a house for me to live in, although, you know, I might, but it would be a house for like people that needed a place to be, could come there and get back on their feet. And it could leave a legacy for like my family at any point in any person's life, and anyone that lives in my family or is in my family could go there and stay and not worry about the stresses and anxiety that the world causes. They could just go there and exist and be and figure out what their God calling is. And then also foster kids and all that stuff. Like, it could be a place where people could just be and not have the stress of the world. And I think something like that, I don't know why, I just feel so called to eventually do that. And, you know, God has his way of directing us, and that might not be my plan at all. It might not work out at all. But I think it would be so cool to have a place where, like, people that I could see succeeding, or people that really need just a break, can just come and, like, there's no financial commitment. You just stay, you just exist. You get back, like, in the Bible, or you get back in reading, or you just focus on life. And that's where it is. And I hope that one day I can provide that. I think that would be so cool. And again, everything I do is not selfish. I mean, granted, I have some selfish desires, like my luxurious shower. I think that'd be so awesome. I love going to a nice hotel and there's this amazing shower. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's too intimate. I don't know, but I just love it. And so I would love to have a really nice shower one day. But other than that, like, everything else is just a bonus. And so it's funny. And I hope you guys are showers surrounded with shrimp tanks. I hope you guys are enjoying this little Wednesday rant. But if I could give you all another piece of advice, it would just be to dream. Kids inspire me so much because they have no limitation of their dreams. They could find this bottle of water and be like, oh, it's a grenade, and then throw it and it blows up and it gets everyone wet. And they're like, no, you died because it was a grenade. You got wet. That's a boy talking. Or a little girl could come in here and grab this cheetah and say that this is the cheetah that lives in the Amazon and its name is so-and-so. And these are all things that happen. And the creativity of the childlike mind is dampened by our society, I think. Because I know there was points where mine was dampened and people told me I wasn't good enough, and people told me that I couldn't do it, and people tried to cast their doubts on me. And I'm thankful that there were people in my life that told me otherwise, and I listened to their voice more than the other voices, and here we are today. And so don't let that creativity be lost. Don't let your dreams be lost. If you're 40, if you're 50, if you're 60, and you're sitting here listening to this, and there's something you've always wanted to do, then do it. Like, it's never too late. And It's never too late. So I hear so often people that have a family and they say that, well, I can't start a business because I have a family. And it's just like, I get it, but if that's your dream, you can make it happen. Like, it's not going to be easy, and nothing's ever easy, but dreams are dreams because they're so far away. Like, you dream for something that's so vast off there, and it's going to take a ton of work to get there. So the journey is not easy. It's rough. And there's times where like it gets really rough, but if you're passionate enough and you care enough, it'll work. You really have to take yourself out of it, and just focus on the people around you, focus on the dream, and just go after it. And I work on that every day. And so rational realism hinders that sort of desire to jump off of a cliff. I mean, yeah, rational realism. So your mind is set up to protect you. And so the reason most people don't chase after their dreams is because their mind tells them, oh, are you sure you want to do that? Think about your family. Think about the risk. Think about all the money you can lose. And it's all true, but my mind tells me, hey, let's risk that. And if we fail and lose everything, my mind will always tell me, you tried. You did it. Instead of being 100 years old or 50 years old or whatever and looking back and being like, man, what if? I never want to ask my question, what if? I always just want to do it. I always want to go for it. I always want to make it happen. And even like, I mean, think of me. Every time I make a big decision with the business, like I'm putting all my employees' livelihoods at risk. I'm putting my livelihood at risk. Everyone that has signed up to be a part of what we're doing. And so I don't take decisions lightly, but there's always excuses not to do something that's bigger than yourself. There's always things in the back of your head that will tell you no. There's always people that will tell you no. And my greatest desire in life is to unleash everyone else's potential to enable them to be the best version of themselves. And I know that's a combination of what I've heard and what people have said, but it's what I believe. And shout out to all the people that have said that before me. And so I'm so appreciative of all of you, everyone, all 130 of you that are listening to this rant. I hope that it spoke to you in some way, shape, or form. I hope you can leave this just truly inspired. And I hope we can continue to do these type of streams and continue to inspire each other, because at the end of the day, I need these talks just as much as some of you need these talks. And so I love life, and I did miss a super chat. So I do have to give a huge shout out to Hank Fredericks, dropping a $20 super chat. Thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. And please always leave a comment and let us know with your super chat if there's a question or something you want to say. It's always good to hear from you guys. So thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you all for hanging out and listening to this little rant. And I truly hope that you guys can start thinking about what is your dream? What do you want to do with your life? And don't settle. Please don't settle. Always go for it. Always risk. Always do something. If we all did it, our world would be a completely different place. And so it's awesome. And really try to see it from everyone else's point of view. When someone's being nasty, think of the day that they're having. Think of what they're going through in their life, and just be compassionate. Because that's what I try to do, and I think it helps. It can't hurt, that's for sure. But love you guys. Love everything that we've accomplished here in the Flip Aquatics YouTube channel and the Flip Aquatics business and the family. You guys are just awesome. Ray Conway, I just saw a message from him. He said, "Thank you, Rob. I lost everything a few years ago. I've been fighting hard to get back on my feet and back into the hobby." And yeah, life is not easy. No one's ever said it was. No one's ever going to say it's going to be. Life is not easy. It's hard. And there's times where you got to fall on your face. There's times where you got to fall down to the very, very bottom of that cliff. And a lot of people give up when they get there. And when you fight back, like Ray's fighting back, I mean, that's when things happen. God gives us all a story, and he gives us a story to tell that story. And I have a story. You all have a story. It's all unique, and we're all created equal, I guess. But we all have a story, and it's our job to share that story and use that story. And again, it's not easy. Life is not easy, and I pray for you guys. I hope you guys can go out there and just take life by the horns, make something big happen. And if any of you hear this talk and a couple years later, you just do something amazing and this inspired you and you remember, send me a message, because I would love to hear it. I'd love to see what God's doing in your life. And I appreciate you all so much. Fritz Aquatics in the house, a sponsor of our YouTube channel that has really made some big things happen in our lives and in the business. And so we're so appreciative of them and everyone else that supports us. And you guys, I truly, truly, truly appreciate all of you. So God bless you all. Thank you so much for listening to this little rant. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your week. And I'll talk with you guys tomorrow.